Okay, I think we're ready to start. If I understand correctly. Okay. All right, great. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Amber, and in fact, I actually brought a couple things for you to remember my name by. So this is my workspace. You can see here I have an A for album, A for Amber. So this is an Annette album. And then for V, I have Vanderburg. So I have a Velvet Elvis. So I have an A for album, V for Velvet Elvis, A for Amber, V for Vanderburg. I'd actually love what's around your workspace. If you want to give me two items, one thing that begins with the first letter of your first name, second is the item that begins with the first letter of your last name, and you want to put that in the chat. You can be as creative as you can, you might not have a Velvet Elvis hanging around, but I like to see what you got. So you can put that in the chat, see where you are. See, I love seeing what's around people's location, where people are. And in fact, whenever we're leading change, understanding where someone is really the first thing that we need to understand. So understanding not only geographically where you are, I see some people might put, yeah, a P for pen, a mouse, a computer. Yeah, so I'm seeing some people are at the office. I've done this activity sometimes, and someone might say that they have a dog or a baby. You're able to see the differences of what is in someone's surroundings. So it's good to know whenever you begin leading change where someone is and where they're located. So we're looking both at where they are physically and then also looking at their direction, their motivation, their reason. Why are we doing what we're doing? So looking at those reasons. Also, as we are moving forward, we need to ask questions to understand where someone's at and get a full understanding of why we are behaving in the way that we're behaving. So whenever you begin leading change, the first thing you need to do is ask a lot of questions and to build those relationships. So I'm going to ask where someone's at, meet them where they're at, what we're doing right now, and why we're doing what we are doing. In fact, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to move to India, and I was working with Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, in their football academy, and we were tasked with leading change in our team performance. And I noticed whenever we did that, that there were a few different approaches to leading change with different organizations or with different coaches. See, some coaches would come in and they would, this is what we need to do differently. This is what we're supposed to do. And that did not necessarily go over super well. People don't want to be told what they need to do. We need to lead people to the answer. Some people would come in and say, hey, we should probably do this, but there wasn't a true sense of urgency, so nothing really got done. With some people that came in and they said, I will come and save everything. I will be the person to lead transformational change, and leading with ego or leading with a lack of humility, acting like the savior of the organization, also not the best approach. So there's a few different approaches that aren't as effective. What are some effective ways that we can lead change within our organization? Well, the first thing that we need to do is to build relationships. We need to build those relationships, ask questions to understand where someone is currently. And then the next thing that we need to do is create a sense of urgency. Whoops. There we go. My marker decided not to work for a second. We need to create a sense of urgency. Now, you can create a sense of urgency in a couple different ways. You could find urgency within crisis. I know a lot of us have found a sense of urgency within our last year and finding an opportunity for change. You can find a sense of urgency by bringing somebody new into the organization, finding new ideas. You can live with a sense of urgency within your organization, constantly acting with a sense of urgency as well. So in any case, change can happen all the time. In fact, I'm sure if we thought about it right now, there's probably 20, 30, 50 different things that we could be changing in our personal life right now. but only the things that have a total sense of urgency are the things that we're going to act upon first. In fact, just yesterday, I was speaking to my housemate, and she has started going to the gym more and being really conscious of her diet. And I said, so what has been the incentive to have a major focus on your health right now? And she said, well, I'm getting ready to go on a trip. I'm getting ready to see my family, and I want to make sure I'm in really good health whenever I get there. So she has a very intense sense of urgency to enact in her best interest and invest in her physical health right now. So we first must enact a sense of urgency within your organization. There's about 50 different things that could be changed right now. Why does your change initiative be on Cotter, Kotter, and he writes about the importance of leading change. So he writes that first we need to create a sense of urgency, then we need to build a guiding. If you can achieve your dreams all on your own, you're probably not dreaming big enough. So we need to take the time to include other people in our change initiative. So I encourage you, if you are wanting to enact change in your organization, to ask yourself, who champions this success? Who else can be a champion of the change within your team? The next thing that you need to do is to build a vision. Here, I'll do blue again. So you want to enact change, but you need to be able to communicate where you are actually going. And you need to communicate very, very clearly. In fact, whenever I think about building vision and leading change and really just leading within organizations, communication and that relational capital is key. In fact, it reminds me of one of my favorite childhood books that I had as a child, and that is Miss Amelia Bedelia. So Amelia Bedelia is the story of a housemaid. She's one of my favorite childhood characters. And so here she is. She's a housemaid getting ready to go clean a home. Here's the homeowners. And the homeowners think we have communicated our vision very clearly. We're going to leave a list and say, this is what needs to be done. This is the direction that we desire to go. And so it says things like draw the curtains, dust the furniture. Very simple task. But Amelia Bedelia takes things a little differently. She takes everything literally. So she reads dust the furniture and she sees some dusting powder. And so she actually puts dust all over the furniture. And she reads that she needs to dress the turkey. And so she gets out some clothes, dresses the turkey. And sometimes whenever we are communicating our message to our team, we might think that we're communicating our vision very clearly. But if we don't first take the time to build relationships with people in our team, then there's an opportunity for some miscommunication within the organization. So Dr. Mark Rutland writes down that great communication boils down to 4 factors, and that is the right message delivered at the right time in the right way to the right audience. I'll say that one more time. Great communication boils down to the right message delivered at the right time in the right way to the right audience. So you can be mindful of that as we are moving forward within our team and within our organization. So anytime that I have missed the mark on my communication, it's usually because I've missed the mark in one of those 4 areas. Whenever I've delivered great communication, it's usually because I've hit the mark in all 4 of those areas. So we're going to create a sense of urgency, build our guiding team, cast a vision, and communicate very clearly to our team. Now, especially if we are communicating change, I believe that we must take into account our method of communication. If we have a form of communication that is highly emotional, highly complex, then sending a memo or an email is not going to be as effective. So we want to be as personal as possible to have faster feedback loops to answer these questions. The next thing that you want to do is create ownership of action. You want to empower others. So again, if you can achieve your dreams all on your own, you're probably not dreaming big enough. So we need to include other people and encourage and empower others to enact our change and to lead change within the organization. And then last but not least, we need to create short-term wins. Sometimes whenever we are leading change, it can be really easy to want to give a really big mega event or mega change. But with small wins, we're able to build steady momentum as we are moving forward. So you want to be very catered as you are moving forward with your change initiative in your team. I mentioned before that I led change within Paris Saint-Germain at their academy in Bangalore, India. We did a variety of change initiatives within our coaching, in our organizational structure. And the way that we did that is we went through this process right here. We had a sense of urgency. We had events that were coming up. We had big tournaments that were coming up, and we had a need to change. We built our team. We had a team of coaches, of parents, of program managers that were helping us lead this change. We casted a vision of what success was going to look like, and we communicated that clearly to our entire organization, all throughout the organization. You cannot over communicate that vision. So we communicated again. We created ownership and allowed ownership opportunities for everyone within the organization, for our program managers, for our parents, for our players, for our coaches. Everyone had a part to play within our team's success. Then we created short-term wins. Before we went to the massive tournament, we started having scrimmages. We included more practice times. We did other games as well to create those short-term wins, to build momentum, and to lead to success within our organization. And so as we did this, we were able to enact meaningful change within our team performance, and we were able to play better and win more games. I encourage you, because we've gone through a lot of different words today, a lot of different terms. It can be easy to sound like one of my players whose name was Achinthia. So Achinthia, he was about 6 years old, and he had learned a lot of football words. And so he was so excited for his very first day of football. And so he came running out onto the field, and he began yelling, "Pass, pass, pass!" And I noticed that Achinthia, he was yelling pass even whenever the other team had the ball. And he was yelling pass whenever he was miles away from the action. And he was yelling pass even whenever he had the ball. So then he was running with the ball going, "Pass, pass, pass!" And so I looked at Achinthia and I said, "Achinthia, why are you yelling pass?" And he looked up at me and he said, "Miss Amberman, I do not know what it means. I only know it is a football word." Sometimes whenever we're leading change and we know a lot of words like this, we can say collaborative ownership, teamwork, vision, communication, urgency, because we know that these are really great words that can lead to really big goals. But if we're in the wrong position, if we're miles away from the action, or even if we have the ball and we don't know in which direction we're going, then saying these words are not only ineffective, they're actually detrimental to the overall communication within our team. But if we take the time to build relationships with others in our team, create a sense of urgency, our team, we communicate that vision clearly, and we create those opportunities for ownership and short-term wins, then we'll be in a position to yell pass, to receive the ball, to move forward, and to score really big goals within our organization. Thank you so much for having me today. I would love to connect, love to answer any questions about leading change within organizations. You can connect with me. My name is Amber Vanderburg. I'm available on LinkedIn, on Twitter. So I'd love to continue the conversation moving forward. So thank you so much. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here.